I decided to try something new and build a new bed frame with the first milled lumber that I milled almost a year ago, right after I bought my sawmill. There are some thin boards and then some 2x2s or 1.5x2s, which I'm planning to use for the legs. Now that I've planed all the wood that I need, I think I'm going to start cutting the first pieces. And the first cuts I'm going to do is for the wooden slats that will go into the head and the footboard. And I can use those leftovers ideally for that. So I'm going to cut 5 for the head and 5 for the footboard, and then probably plane them again to the same width. So looking at my beautiful and very professional drawing, I've done the side rails, I've done the feet, and now I'm going to work on the slats and the rails for the foot and headboard, which I'm going to have in sizes 6¼ inch for the footboard and 12¼ inch for the headboard. And on top of that come the rails at the bottom and top. While the headboard and footboard frames are drying, I'm going to continue with the next steps. I got my 2 side rails here. I'm going to cut a straight edge first, and then I'm going to cut a 1.5 inch piece off of this and this to be then screwed on the side rail, serving as a support beam where the mattress support will sit on. Which will leave me 8 inches of width for the or height, if you will, for the side rails. And then I got this very thin piece of wood, little less than 1/2 inch, which I plan to use as a what do you call it, as a cover for the head and footrest. So this is too thin to plane. I could use a little help to plane it, but I'm probably just going to sand it with a belt sander, and that will be it. I now completed the two frame structures for the head and the footboard. I glued them together and drilled some holes for the wooden dowels. I'm pretty happy with the glue job. The next step will be using those boards that I still have left. I'm going to glue the top rail and the bottom rail to it. I'm going to use some wooden dowels as well. And then bottom rail first, glue the feet next to it, top rail on top, and then it's basically done. As I said, I'm pretty happy with the glue job. Most joints are very flush. There are some minor imperfections like this one, which I'm just going to sand to make it flush. For the top rails, I'm going to cut those two boards. Those are all very natural colors from this tulip poplar that came to be from the soil that was absorbed while the tree was growing and the minerals in it. So you have some blue, violet, very beautiful. So I'm going to drill some holes for the dowels here as well for the bottom rail. Not because the dowels are needed for the strength, but it just helps me with the alignment of the rails. I now remove the clamps and they look pretty good. One of the things that I measured or drilled incorrectly is this. As you can see, it's not flush on either side. This one in here. So I'm going to use my hand planer to smooth that out, and then they should be good to go. After spending quite some time sanding all those pedal boards, I proudly presented the result to my daughter, and she said,
I don't like it. That's better.
So I will remove those. So now that I don't have to glue the panel boards, we've come to the last steps. I will finish that with a 220 grit sanding paper, and then I will put some finishing oil on it. And in the meantime, I still have to cut the slats where the mattress will be laying on. No project without a mistake. So I did make a mistake. I measured the length or the width between the inner sides of the feet to be 38.5 inches, giving myself a little wiggle room for the 38-inch twin mattress size. Now, what I did not take into account is the size of those brackets, which add an additional 1.2 inches. So if I mount this right here, the side rail where this piece would be attached to would snap over here like this, but it would add an additional 1.1 of an inch. So I think I have basically three options. Option one would be to move the bracket on one side to mount it on the leg like this so it's visible from the outside. This would reduce the width, but it would look very unprofessional. The second option would be that I have to cut 30 new wooden slats, longer, probably 41 inches. I cut those to 39 inches, but that would leave at least a 2-inch gap between the bed frame and the mattress. So that really wouldn't look great. The third option, which I'm going to go with, is using different hardware. So I bought those that will go into the end grain of the side rail and then hook into the leg like this. So this would go right here. Now what I do have to do though is I'm going to have to cut a recess with my router. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And here we got the final product. Very happy. I think it turned out quite well. I'm also very happy with the metal hardware that I bought, the brackets. They're super sturdy. If I try to move this, it doesn't wobble around a bit, it doesn't move a bit. I was planning or thinking I might need some additional brackets, but no. I also chose the very specific height to have room for our old storage units that I've just used from the old bed, so they can just be pulled. And I think the black looks quite nice with the wooden colors.